wanted to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix set sheet. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Vaughn Coleman with Sammy Threepeat. And we have quite the show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the last two movies we talked about, I liked quite a bit. And I will tell you, I went in actually expecting to like this movie. I didn't really look at reviews, but I was like, you know, that looks good enough from the trailers. Sam, what are your thoughts before we get into mine?
I don't know what I was expecting. It certainly wasn't this. It's just about everything that I was like, oh God, I hope they don't do this. Oh, they're doing that. Great. Like this was like a misstep after misstep. It was painful at times, and at other times it was just straight up boring. Like this was a slog to get through. Hosty,
What are you doing this degenerate stream? We're talking about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, we're both fans of the original film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. This film is weird in that it's both made for fans of the original, but also hurts you if you're a fan of the original.
Yeah.
Use it for and against you, your love of the original. All right, so positives, I'll say. For most of the runtime until it all right. I gotta read. I forgot. I started the stream with a super chat. Vaucoma for $1.99, taking the nastiest shit of my life right now.
I just love it cracks me up every time because it's just you with the goatee.
Anyway, so it starts off where I'm like, wow, this, you know, they kind of take a bit, but when it comes to the characters, when Freddie Prinze Jr. Who showed up first? Jennifer Love Hewitt or Freddie Prinze Jr.? Freddie Prinze Jr., right?
Yeah, he seemed to be
Great.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good. I was surprised how well he did.
I thought his performance was better than the original.
Yeah, I was like, oh, in the last 30 years, he has learned to act. Like, because like for the first like 5 years of his career, all he had to do was just like look in the camera and be like, and everyone's like, oh my God. Like when I was a kid, Freddie Prinze Jr. was like a heartthrob, man. Like
Was he? That's
oh yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, his performance did hit. Yeah. So I thought Jennifer Love Hewitt was good in it too. I really did. Her showing up. The problem is, you have first of all you have to get through some stuff to get to them. Now I didn't mind the stuff I went through to get to them. It didn't hook me the way the original did. No pun intended.
No.
But the original gets you in a certain way right out the gate and really gives you a strong feel for the characters. I did not feel that way about the new characters at all, even by the end.
No, there's a couple times like I was actively rooting for the Hook. Which by the way, you want to know out of all the people like from the first movie who aged the best, the Hook. The Hook looks the same as it did in 1997. Another thing too, I am really sick of those pictures where like they'll show a picture of Jennifer Love Hewitt from 1997 and then like one today and be like, what happened? It was like, what are you talking? 30 years happened. Okay. Let's see how good you look.
Junior does not look like himself either.
No, he as a matter of fact, I think he looks way older than Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like
way older.
Yeah, no, Jennifer Love Hewitt looked really good. Sarah Michelle Gellar looked really good.
It's really good to the point where I'm like, I found out after they used de-aging stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, they did?
I was like, holy shit, she looks like she's in her 20s. It's crazy.
I was like, yeah, maybe there is something to this adrenochrome bullshit that all.
Yeah, I guess only one half the couple took it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's I well, they couldn't have had Barry anyway, but Barry was my favorite character from the original film.
He's so good. Like he's supposed to be the douche character, and he is, but I love him.
Yeah, but he was a douche. But we talked about this before. Like he's the rational douche, where he was going like, "Hey, just if everybody shuts up and doesn't say anything, they don't have anything on us." And you know, if there wasn't a part where he
gets shit done.
Yeah,
and
they all seem to be like friends with him. Like the new Barry is just like a white guy with a black accent who.
No, he was half black.
Oh, is he half?
Because his mom
Okay.
his mom was black.
Okay. Well, I missed that part, but either way, I was like, that was annoying the crap out of me because it was just like, dude, you're white.
Yeah. I think we'll get into just like, all right. So right out the gate, we'll talk about the new characters. I remember, and I don't mean to be a dick.
I don't remember. I don't remember any of their names.
As soon as I see the new girl, I go, she's not Jennifer Love Hewitt, but she'll do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like, jokes aside, like, that's not obviously the standard we want to judge the movie on because she is a very pretty girl and whatever. She can act. But
yeah, no, she did fine. She was a good final girl.
She was a good final girl. I liked her. She was pretty too. She was really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
The girls were pretty in this movie. Now, were the characters also good? Because the first one had a crazy combination where the girls were very good looking and I liked the characters.
Mm-hmm.
How on those fronts, in your opinion?
Some of them very good. There's a couple other ones. I will say the twist at the end. If you're talking about that for character development, I honestly didn't hate that. It was just when the turn happened. That's when the acting started going off the rails for that character a little bit. But
the dialogue too.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through the spoiler free first, and I'll give a spoiler warning.
That's what I was trying. I'm trying not to. I was worried to even bring up Sarah Michelle Gellar, but like we saw her on the red carpet.
Kind of. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right. So when the new characters, I thought they were all right, but they weren't memorable like the original four.
No, I can't remember any of their fucking names.
And even outside of that, I don't know.
I'm actually gonna IMDb it so I can at least be
Yeah,
coherent.
we'll get into that, Dean. It was so okay. So one of the things is they do their own version of the events. Where okay, we have a group together. There's this couple that's getting married. It's like our new Barry, and so I guess they're a little older than the characters in the original film. You know?
They're
Because they're at least getting married. Like in the original, they were literally just getting out of high school. They were just
okay, but
18.
this is rich people like getting married though. Like this is obviously very well kids. Southampton or South Point or Southport as we know it has experienced like an ecological boom. A lot of rich yuppies have turned it into kind of like a rich spot. So these people could be getting married at like 22, 23 because like you'll say things who's like, oh, and I'm a nepo baby who took care of my daddy's empire. And it's like, I love it that you call it an empire. And it was like, okay, like so they have the means to get married a little bit younger.
Another thing, a lot of Gen Z slang. Some of it I was fine because I do hear some of that, unfortunately. I will say, because people were like, is that how kids talk these days? Like on some levels, I hate to say it. Yeah. I didn't like it, but there was some accuracy. Now, some of it, I'm like, okay, this is a little too much. Like you're trying too hard.
Yeah. I think we know who.
So yeah, we have this kind of like they're getting ready for a wedding, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go watch the fireworks up on the hill. It's the best spot." And so they go and they get this other girl who was kind of their friend. So that's one twist they had is it was two couples in the original that go up, right? It was two guys, two girls. And this it's two guys, two girls, and a third girl who used to be their friend who they bring up. So I'm like, okay, that's slightly different. Also, the new Barry is not a douche like the original was, really.
No, he's a different kind of douche. He's a less useful douche, right? Like
he's also less interesting because he's like douchey, but not douchey enough. Like
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. Like he's just kind of like he's not as memorable as Barry was.
No, Barry's goated. Okay,
Barry's a great character.
Okay, like Barry will grab a woman and shake her and be like, "Just shut up." So, I mean, okay. Another thing too is I don't buy that this all happened because they were like slightly okay. How
Sammy is the perfect level of douche.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen. But okay. Here's my initial problem with the film. The accident really kind of isn't their fault this time, okay?
That was the problem I had too. I had no problem with them changing it up, but the first time it was so personal. And it was like,
and obviously their fault. You know, like we were joking about
like, how do we do it but make it different? And it's like, I mean, that's different. But it's not.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
So we'll get into it. So what were you saying?
I mean, it's hard to do it without spoilers.
All right. So let's get generals out of the way. And
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, I think it was almost good to a point. The ending scene in a vacuum is fucking great, and I would have been like, can't wait for the next one if I hadn't just sat through the last act and the last review.
Yeah.
If I had not sat through that, despite all of the flaws of the new characters, they were serviceable. The new characters were not bad. They were serviceable. Maybe even a little above, but they weren't the originals. Like the originals, I genuinely loved the characters in the original movie. I did not hate them, but I wasn't like, oh man, no, they can't. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and there's a couple, and there were a couple characters who were like, don't kill them. Like with this, I was just like, good. Good.
I think my biggest problem with this movie is it's kind of forgettable.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, there's parts that I didn't like there, and then there were parts that were just like flat out boring. That it didn't really grab my emotions where like they're trying to unravel this mystery in the first one, and in this one it kind of goes to show you too, and like I know every younger generation or every older generation like bitches about the younger generation, but in my I know what you did last summer.
No, I'm the same way.
The kids were actively trying to figure out what was going on and like not be killed. And this time they're like yelling at everybody else to kind of like solve it for them. Like, like they even seek out Jennifer Love Hewitt to be like, hey, what did you do?
Yeah.
Like it was the same
And
fucking guy.
She doesn't get involved really in the movie.
Why would you? It's like, hey, you remember when all your friends got killed? Someone's doing that to us. Can you like help? And was like, no. I don't know if you know this, but it's quite traumatic.
Yeah. So, all right. I think the movie, I'll say, I like that it did homages to the original, and the opening scene that it's an homage to the original was literally the shot at the beach, and then it ends with the shot at the beach. But by the beginning, I'm like, cool, I like that it's familiar. By the end, I'm like, fuck you for being familiar.
Yep.
Get out of my territory. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. There's they even make fun of it in the movie where someone's like, oh, nostalgia. I'm so sick of nostalgia. And I was like, really? Because that's all you got going for you right now.
Yeah. All the best parts of the movie and the worst parts simultaneously. The parts where I felt the most were nostalgia.
Yeah.
If you want to see a really good I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, just watch the original. That's my review. This one's fine, I guess, if you've seen the second one, which is the better sequel, which is saying something. The second one is not that good.
No. And,
I do like that the second one is canon. I like that they acknowledge that. Now, I wish this one was erased from canon, and the second one could just be the ending.
Well, and that's another thing, too. They left this one prime for a sequel, and
they've done enough.
And it was like, leave it alone. It's already dead. It's so bad. Here's something that's not a spoiler that I hated from the start of this movie is they play 3 very, very similar songs in rapid succession. And they're all really bad. They're all really bad songs, and they're all kind of conveying the same things. It was just like, oh, this character starts in the bedroom and then she's looking at herself in the mirror, and then you see the transition to like a house party, and it's essentially the same song. It's just like a different like woman singing it. Like it was very poor use of soundtrack. I did not like the soundtrack in this movie.
I didn't either. The soundtrack, like the Hush, that song in the original, like I'll play in a bar and I'm like, yeah, it's that song. Like it's that's how Sean and I, because Sean was in the last episode we were talking about it, which I told Sean, I'm like, you don't have to rush to the theaters, buddy. I'm like, just keep your memories intact. But I was like, Sean and I were in a bar, and I go, oh shit, I know what you did last summer. He goes, I love that movie, and that's how we started talking. I don't think there's any songs like that in this movie.
No, not at all. It's all, like new pop crap. But I was like, to play songs so similar in under 5 minutes in the film, I was just like, this is inexcusable.
So bad. All right, so I'm gonna give it like, I guess I really don't like. I don't even want to. I'll give it like at max a 5, maybe less, probably less. To be honest.
Oh, I was gonna give it a 3.5.
I think that's what I'll give it, a 3.5. I think that's fair.
Okay, because 5
is competently made.
Yeah, there's certain scenes that look really, really.
It looks good.
Yeah, and like somehow, some way, there is no CGI garbage in this. There are some excellent like water shots that I was like, all right.
Yeah, they shot water good. Good job.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like both a lot of the best like shots in this movie, kind of going like, it's been a while since I've been on a boat. I want to go on a boat.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, here's the thing. I will say this movie was also very tonally confused, I think, too.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it was like, hey, we were goofy, but also not. Now, the second one was just, I don't know if it was intentionally totally confused. I think a little bit, but I think it was also just a fucking stupid movie.
They didn't know whether to play into the campiness because like the story had really already been told, and like to have a movie called "I Still Know What You Did Last Night," you know what I mean? It's
like the second one was campy, and it was also made in like less than a year, so it's kind of like they were like, oh shit, the first one made. Let's crank out another baby, and it's like the director, I think, and the writer of the first one were like, no, like you're gonna make all right, give it to someone else, and it shows in the second one. Now this one was incredibly. This one's less excusable because it wasn't a rush. They took their time with this, and this was the best they could give us after all these years. And Freddie Prinze Jr. was like, I came back. I was not. I normally don't come back, but for this one, and it's like this one. This one.
Yep, we this is what we got.
All right, and I shit on the second one all the time. I want to rewatch it now.
Yeah, I'm interested in rewatching it now too.
All right, we'll have to do an episode on that one.
Well, I mean that one will be easy to find. This one came down to the grindstone because like usually, you know, like they have versions of this available. Yeah, I would have been very upset in the theater.
Dude, all right, there's a certain point when I go, there's no fucking. I started like laughing in the theater. When it gets, I'm like, this is a joke movie. There's no way they're actually going through with this.
We really got to get into spoilers.
All right, we're gonna get into spoilers. Ready? Thank you guys so much for coming to the spoiler-free section. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the fuck was that ending? What happened, dude?
Some of the dialogue that, by the way, I'm looking at the IMDb. Sarah Pigeon is her last name is Pigeon.
Her last name is fucking Pigeon, dude. As soon as some of the dialogue was going, I'm like, a woman wrote this. A woman.
Yeah,
wrote this.
And
that, like, there's some great female writers, like, you know, that I love. But this is one of those cases where I'm like, this is a woman with an agenda writing this, and I could just tell. Yep. And then I saw the credits. I was like, of course, of fucking course, and you could tell. It got very bad. It got like, because the movie was like actually competent for most of the runtime. I thought I was enjoying it, and I was like, this is a solid enough sequel. It's not as good as the original, but it's a solid enough sequel. And there's a certain point where it just goes, it fucking flatlined. So the descent that this movie went on was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, there's certain really good shots. There's certain good cinematography. There's certain chase scenes that I thought were edited really well. But there's all this shit in between where we're just kind of like, what are we doing here? Oh, you got a super chat on.
What?
You got a super chat on.
I know you had gay sex. Who you had gay sex with last summer? Thank you for the super chat. All right, it's $4.
Okay. Another thing too. I've smoked weed many times.
Mm-hmm.
Never once that I was like, oh, I'm gonna stand in oncoming traffic. And it was like, no, Tyreek just does shit like that. Okay, there's nothing. That's another thing too. None of them appeared to be fucked up to a point where they were gonna like cause an accident. They really were like, oh, this really was a nice spot to watch fireworks, and then all of a sudden Tyreek just like loses my.
Tyreek is the actor. The guy's name was Teddy, but that shows you how little. I didn't fucking care.
Yeah, all right, yeah, Teddy. Teddy Spencer. Teddy Spencer basically causes Yeah, another thing.
The accident, by the way. Let's talk about the accident.
Yes, please.
Fucking stupid. So dumb. So, okay, so he stands in the... Why did they have, like, 3 fake outs?
They did.
They had, like, 3 fake outs. 3, like, oh, this is the accident. And the actual accident happened. I'm like, this better be insane. It better be, like, a fucking crazy crash.
Because you know the accident's coming. Like, you know the accident is coming. Like, they actually would have been so much better off not having it be a car accident. And then, like, you know, like, oh, you're fucking around with somebody on the dock and you accidentally push them in. Or, you know, so, something like try a new direction. It was like, this was such a nostalgia bait, so much so that, like, they had this one asshole playing in traffic, and then you're like, is this the car that's gonna hit him? Is this the car that's gonna hit him? Like, psych out, it's not gonna hit him. It's gonna crash into a banister and then take its sweet ass time to fall. It would have been better off if it just fell right in, but, like, then you had the jump scare of the arm, like, punching out of the window to grab his jacket, which ended up being a nothing burger. I thought the jacket was going to come back. You know,
didn't it?
I didn't think it did. No, they just
fucking dumb.
They just get a note, and apparently it's because no one wanted to do the right thing, and was like, well, even though he was being an asshole, he wasn't really doing anything wrong. There appeared to be ample room for that car to get around.
Yeah.
And
slow down.
Yes, they should have reported it, but even then, you could have just been like, yeah, I don't know. Like, we parked. There was ample room to get around us.
Yeah, it wasn't like the first movie where it's 100. And here's the thing: even though the guy they hit was an asshole, unlike in this movie, where it implies that the guy was actually a good guy, it's fucking crazy to me that it's like they just like the original. They hit this guy. It's like this horrible traumatic event, and this one is kind of like
obliterated drunk driving, swerving all over the road. You got the one guy like, yeah, out of the sun. The body goes up the car and hits the dude, and then they're so drunk they can't figure it out. Like, hey, did we hit something? And then, like, I can't remember. Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar? And she's like, guys, and then there's like the bloody boot. And it was you clearly hit somebody.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, let's get out of here. We should never talk about this. Okay, it was like they're clearly in the wrong. This could have been mechanical failure for all we know, because that car was going straight and then it just veered right off the thing. They tried to save the guy. And then I'm assuming it's just because they all smoked and they were paranoid. We're like, we can't say anything about this. And I was like, well, you didn't do anything wrong.
And if they did, it was like compared to the original where they drag him down and they like basically look at him and they have a choice. And like it was like fuck. And here's the thing: if it's different, fine. Okay, fine. We're going with like a knockoff version. But that kind of sets the tone for the movie. All right, we have a knockoff version of the events of the first film. Like, we're doing it we're doing it in a shittier way.
Yeah, we're doing it
with a different coding. It's like, okay.
It's different coding, but it's also women are really bad at like assigning blame to other women.
That was another thing too. That was one of the hints that it was written and directed by a woman, is because I'm like, why are none of the women taking accountability or responsible at all for any bad thing that happens in this movie? Isn't that it's always the men's fault?
It is always the men's fault. But also, like, they're really not accountable for this. Like, they're not.
It's the guy's fault.
Yeah, it was the guy's fault.
It was more the guy's fault because it was the guy driving and Ryan Phillippe, his leg was in the way. So it was really Ryan Phillippe's fault, Barry's fault. But the women still chose to go along with it. In this movie, they did too. But what they went along with is not nearly as bad.
No, it's not nearly as bad. So that's why, like, when you get this big turnaround at the end, it's almost like, well, wait, why are you blaming them?
That's a good point. That's a good point. But the problem is that the film itself isn't blaming them. Like the film in the original movie, it's like they did do something wrong. And
Uh-huh.
the man wrote the original.
Dude,
This
the
one-
authorities wouldn't blame them. Like I said, there's so much that you could argue where it was like, you know what? Okay, they should have called. That's no reason to get murdered. It was like you in the first movie, they 100% caused the death of somebody. There's
I
50
think they did. He ended up
yeah,
being alive. But
there's
it was by
50
a miracle that he lived.
Yes, there's 50 different variables on this one where it was just like, yes, I agree. You shouldn't smoke weed and stand in the middle of the street. But the other two cars went along just fine. I'm just saying.
That's a good point. The other cars, if anything, show that it was the driver's fault because the other cars were able to get around him just fine.
Yeah, well, okay. Also, this car, this is the band. Oh, wait, hold on. It's flipped. It'll be easier. This is the banister. Here's the car. The car goes so it makes like a 90-degree turn instead of just like looping around the guy. It was like
opposite direction too. In the opposite direction, like
yeah.
First
No.
of all, and another thing too that was stupid, right? Is so this because I just thought of this now, right? Because later on it's revealed that the guy who was going was the girl's boyfriend who was going to pick her up. So why was he driving that fast to pick a girl up?
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck was he like? He wasn't trying to like. If he knew she's going to be up here, shouldn't he be slowing down around this area?
Oh, also, it's a curb that's directly over like an 80-foot cliff. You know, like maybe take your time.
It doesn't like. Oh, no.
Okay, it was like okay, even if what's his name, Teddy. Let's say Teddy is 35% to blame of this. Okay, so and I'm being generous. Okay. The guy is still going because this guy had to be going fast enough to plow through like a metal guardrail
And dies on impact.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't. He's obviously strong enough to punch through the fucking window.
Oh yeah, but he's not strong enough to like get out.
Unlock the door, asshole. Let him.
Run in the back of the car.
Yeah. Do something.
It was too complicated. It was like the original, they hit a guy and they get rid of the body, and it's just the slow, it's focus. And this is the problem. The movie focuses on the wrong areas, right? So the original, one of the things I love about the original is you feel the fucking guilt that they have when it comes in. And the new one, they say, there's even lines that go, it's been eating at me for years. But here's the next, so I'll give you an example. After they drop off the body in the original, the next scene of Jennifer Love Hewitt, you see her in college and her face turns around. You just see devastation. And the next couple scenes are referring, her grades are down, but we know she was an academic from the beginning. We know her dad would be turning over her grave, turning the mother. The mother says she misses her daughter. All these things that go,
yeah, her complexion is really bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And then the way she carries herself. She used to be so bubbly, and now she's not. The new one, they got from this traumatic experience to she's making out with a chick. So I go, oh, she's into chicks now. But they don't, which I guess if the movie is trying to implicitly say that lesbianism is bad,
it's always caused by trauma.
I guess that's what the movie's like. It's funny because that's one of the things I said. I said I think they're trying to appease that crowd, and they unintentionally like made it.
Yeah, they unintentionally always make it bigoted. Also, I like the way that you said it. Okay, this accident, this felt like a group of women were telling me something scary happened. Like from the pacing, it was like, and Teddy was in the road, and we were like, "Get out of the road, Teddy!" And then the first car came by, and then the second car came by, and then the third car just like hit the guardrail, and we were like, "What the fuck?" We weren't even near it. And the guy wouldn't come out, and then his arm came through the door, and then it was like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Shelley. And it was just like, no, ladies, focus. Did anybody die? I was like, oh, we don't really know, actually. And it was like, no, first movie, it was like we were driving drunk. One guy was hanging out of the moonroof. You know, he kicked the driver in the head. we weren't sure if we hit somebody or not until we saw the bloody boot, and then we found the body. We ditched the body in the water and anchored him down.
And he literally was like, here's the thing, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, you can understand that like she would have called the cops, but he literally strangles her.
Yeah.
He's like, you fucking say it, bitch. You know, and her boyfriend basically is like, I will lose my life if over this, and her best friend. So you understand why a good girl like that would cave in that scenario.
Yeah. With this, if they called the authorities, they would kind of be like, well, that's unfortunate. Are you kids okay? And also, you shouldn't, don't smoke weed in the middle of the road. Or they would have been reprimanded. They probably would have gotten charged with like marijuana possession. It was like, I don't think they would have gotten manslaughter or anything else. It was like, hey, this guy kind of like went out of his lane and hit the guardrail going at 80 miles an hour, and like we tried to get him out. We like he broke through the window. We didn't know what else to do, so we called you guys. Like we're positive he's dead. He flew off that cliff. They would have been like, "Oh, well, that's really unfortunate. You kids, you get home safe. If we have any questions, we'll call you." Especially with as well-to-do as these families are, it's not like Teddy. Teddy's dad like runs the town. Like he's the. All of this was like marijuana paranoia. They didn't even cause the damn thing. So right there, the stakes are immediately cut in half. Because it's like they could have gotten that note like, I know what you did last summer. It was like, oh yeah, that was our engagement party. Like it was like, oh, we killed that guy. Probably might not even be the first thing that comes to mind because they didn't kill anybody. It was not their fault.
It was kind of, but it wasn't like fully their fault.
Yeah.
Like to the same degree that it was.
There's
again,
enough. There's
hours
enough where I could sleep at night. Okay, where it was like if that happened to me, I'd be like, especially if I wasn't Teddy, I'd be like,
if I was Teddy, then I might feel differently. But the girls, I'd be sick. Like the only thing is them waiting, them going back there and not saying anything. That hurts. Like it definitely is. So maybe I'm comparing to the original too much. But the original really made me feel guilty.
Yeah, it's not guilty enough to get murdered over.
Yeah. So okay. So now let's go forward. Okay. So we're at we get the new chick, the true crime podcast girl, whatever.
Who was insufferable?
But I've seen 3 of those in a row in these movies now. I think maybe even 4. So okay, we had one in the Halloween 2018. We had the
yes.
In Terrifier 3, we had the girl who's in the true crime. Like, okay, that's fine if that character's in this movie, but they did nothing new with that character that I haven't seen in other horror movies and other slasher revival movies specifically. I've seen one of those in every one of these, and it's always, oh, I want to interview you, Mr. Killer, and then gets killed. And she didn't do anything new. That's, I think, one of the biggest the things of this movie. I'm not saying the original was like Citizen Kane.
No.
But the original did stuff that was different from other slasher movies. That movie has its own identity. I don't think this movie really has its own identity.
No, and there's other things too, like especially with how that characters are handled. Annoying writers and annoying members of the press have been in horror movies since horror movies. Okay, that's this. I did like I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I was like this. She didn't even seem believable. I mean, don't get me wrong. She was hot. Also, yeah, I found this girl at the airport. We're just gonna like drive her home. You're like, that's fucking weird. She was just going to town. She didn't have any reservations or anything. She was like, well, I just hope that someone's nice to me on the plane. That's
yeah.
And
the first guy she calls is a beta, so the men are belittled at every turn. Milo is the nice guy, and he's called a beta, and then he gets no redemption or anything, which I'm not saying he needs to, but I'm like, he's insulted from the get-go. What is Milo's personality about? I remembered his name. Milo. I don't remember his name. What's his personality?
yeah, nice guy, boyfriend who probably cooks.
That's it. That's all. He was a
Yeah.
nice guy.
His I feel like his actor's secret was like he likes poetry, but he'll never admit it.
He didn't do like I like when he died. I was like, oh man. But I
Well,
was
no,
like,
my thing was I went, oh, he didn't deserve to die. No one really deserved to die, but kind of Teddy, kind of Teddy. Like it was like, oh, this dude was like seemed pretty nice. Like, you know, he obviously cares about his fiance. This shouldn't have happened. Yeah. But yeah, it also he does the right thing the first time and he pushes Teddy out of the middle of the road.
yeah, the only one who's responsible is Teddy, really.
I'm telling you.
Wasn't he the one driving the car? No, it was his girlfriend. Okay, so fine, the blonde girl. Wait, so then hold on. Why is she not taking more blame? The fake blonde, by the way. She appropriated my culture, by the way. Not even natural blonde.
She did.
Ridiculous.
Because they weren't blocking the road with the car. There was a passing lane. That's what I'm saying. This is fucking crazy.
It's so all right. So we get to the podcast girl. Her death. What do you think is the best death of the movie? The kills, I will say, better than the original. For the most part.
There was a couple good ones where they went in with the twist and like hooking them. I also like that a couple of the bodies
was good.
The couple of them were dressed up like how you would like a prize fish. Like afterward, like
yeah, dude, that was those two. That was a good one.
Yeah,
him and his dad. That was a good one. Also, all right, can we talk about the fact that the girl goes through 2 fucking fiancés in one movie? And we're never once. This is another reason why I knew it was written by a current year woman, is because I was like, wow, we're not gonna address that she's thoughty a bit at all. She goes to 2 fiancés in the span of this one movie.
No, we can't have her crying over her fiance too long. It won't pass the Bechdel test.
That's in this movie because people are like, it wasn't really a big component of this movie. Someone on TikTok was arguing that. They're like, and I'm like, I think a lot of the problems were rooted in that, even if not implicitly. That's just me being honest. Like I felt it, you know. But all right. So one of the positives I will say, I like that they have the girl, because I've met girls like the blonde girl in this movie. That's why I actually found her kind of likable, kind of like Barry was in the original.
Mm-hmm.
Was basic and whatever, but they leaned into it for jokes. So I actually liked her as a character, even though I'm ripping on her for going through 2 fiancés. I actually liked her because she was a ditzy fake blonde, but she's the ditzy hot blonde, and she was still likable. So I actually liked her, and I thought the actress did a great job. I think she did a great job with that character. She owned the role. My thing is. And even down to like, she's always talking about the crystals and whatever. You can tell this girl has like no brain cells, but she thinks she's smart. And I like that the other girl goes, I don't believe in that astrology bullshit. Like that I like. Because I'm like, that felt current, but it was good writing. That's one of the frustrating things. There are good moments in this movie. Yeah, no, there really are. And like I said, and that is that was a great development, and much to her second fiance's chagrin is she's too focused on her crystals and bullshit to hear his horrible murder. Which as soon as he showed up, I'm like, this is the rebound guy. You could tell she wasn't really in love with him. She's he's just filling space. So I wasn't like, I'm kind of like with her, where I'm like, yeah. What was the line though in the tub? She's like, my branches are ever spreading, and I'm like, oh, you're the worst. Like she is, but I liked her though. No, I liked her. I thought she was well acted. But I think this is, yeah. And I liked her first boyfriend better. The second guy was too beta, so I was fine with her getting back with the new guy because it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I think the new characters, like the new girl, they touch on the thing with like her mom, right? But I don't know what that I don't know anything about her. Show her mom died, but like, what is her family situation? Do we know?
Wait, are we talking about
The main girl. The main girl. Or even,
Ava?
you know what? Both of them, come to think of it. Where the
Yeah,
fuck are either of their parents?
Oh, well, I mean, just the first one's non-existent. Yeah, the other one, I think her mother passed.
But what about the dad? There's no, you know what I'm talking about? Like in the first movie, you got a sense of everyone's situation. So Ray's dad left when he was a kid or whatever. He's like with his dad, even if he's never seen his dad's at the docks. You had Barry comes from a rich family. He's gonna be fucking fine. You had the girl, she has dreams of going to New York. Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, Helen, but she ends up working at the store. And her sister is doing it. We don't know where her mom is. We get a good enough idea to get a grasp. Jennifer Love Hewitt, her dad would be turning over in her grave, but you get a sense she had a good relationship with her dad.
The most development you get like that is with Sarah, and even then, it's passing because like we get a lot more development about like Sarah's journey through Ray. More than anybody else, who was like, her dad told me to like look out for her, and if she ever...
Yeah, we get it through other. That's the problem. Is everything is like through other characters. Like the only ones whose parents we know are what was Teddy's parents? The parents. That's it. So like what? All right. So where were the other set of parents at the wedding?
I thought Danica's mom makes a speech.
Oh, she does she? I forgot.
So we can just assume that they're rich yuppies too. I don't know anything about Ava besides I think that her mother is gone. Milo, good luck finding out anything about him. And then, like I said, yeah,
He's
Sarah.
a nice guy. What was the choke me shit, by the way?
Oh, punish me?
Yeah.
I want you to punish me. He was like, and then he's really upset. He's like, should I do it? I kind of want to do it. Sergeant. Also, another thing, Brandy is in this movie, and she's still, but she's
aged.
No, dude, she's still a fox.
Which is why I was excited. I'm like, but after in the context you brought her, because I was like, when they found out she wasn't in this movie, I was like, fuck that. I don't care if the second movie sucked. She was great in it. I want her back. And then by the time she came back, I was like, no, don't
spare Brandy. It was. I did like when they were walking back and like you saw everybody's grave.
They were respectful to the characters in the original until they weren't.
No, even then, someone like made a joke about Barry, and I was like, "Fuck you! Don't talk shit about Barry."
I love how I do like that they have the sisters' graves next to each other, but I love how they don't even acknowledge that both sisters killed in one night, which is crazy. The poor dad, dude. So the dad could have had they took everything from me. Then he could have had a motivation.
Mm-hmm.
But no. Instead, we have someone who did not have a motivation. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, I was going to say she is the shittiest motivation.
Her. Yeah. We'll get into her first. So, all right. Well, first of all, because one of the flaws of the original, I think, is the red herrings are not great in the original.
Yes.
What do you think of the red herrings this time?
Since the action was not so bad where you couldn't pick up someone who was like wronged by this, it could have gone anywhere. So like I was I thought it was Judah for most of the movie.
Judah,
the pastor.
Oh, here's why I thought that. It's because I thought as soon as that's the guy he plays. He's in the fucking Walking Dead. He's Spencer in the Walking Dead. Oh shit.
Yeah, Austin Nichols.
Yeah, so as soon as the church showed up in a current year Hollywood movie, I was like, church bad. I'm not even a religious guy, but I'm like, this is where they're going. Church.
Oh, but yeah, but even the that little thing, and it was like, you'll see from this book in the Bible that death is a natural progression of things, and you need to learn to accept death. And which like preachers will tell you things like that. It was like
not in that tone.
No, not in that tone. It's usually to like comfort you. It was like they're with Christ now, my child. It was like you need to accept the fact that death's a fucking thing.
And I'm like,
you're
Jesus,
like, okay, relax.
Like
Just
Southern
give her the Bible,
preachers,
asshole.
I feel like I've never, been to a Southern church. I should, I feel like, for the experience, but I can't imagine they're like. I imagine they have some charisma.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Yeah, like this guy was like, Jesus, get the fuck away. He sounded like a cult leader. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, the fire and brimstone guys, even then, they wouldn't be saying, like, you need to understand that death is. They would have been
lure
like,
you in and then give you the fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a funeral, or not a funeral, but it was like, people just died. Freddie Prinze Jr., will say, when his first scene comes in, he's great.
Yeah.
In that scene.
But also, it took me a second. I was like, is that fucking Freddie Prinze? Like, he'd aged. So, and like, I'm not going to be like, oh, what happened? I mean, it's obviously 30 years later, but you're still like, oh, well, he's a handsome guy, but like most of the movies I've seen with Freddie Prinze Jr., he's like 19 years old. So you're like, oh, wow, that's what old Freddie Prinze Jr. looks like. Mm-hmm. Cool. Like, after the shock of that went away, this might be one of his best acted films.
I agree. He get the best with what he was given some good, and then
and his back and forths with Jennifer Love Hewitt are fucking great.
That's one of the frustrating things too, is they have some of the best scenes. They are the two best characters in the movie.
Because they're the most realized characters in the fucking movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like
the credit to this movie specific, kind of. I will give this writer some credit. They were directed well, and they were, for the most part, these characters. I go, yeah, it makes sense why these characters are in these places.
Yeah, no, I could see what they were going for. It's just sometimes the execution was just so bad. It is what it is, but yeah, so I don't know how to handle this moving forward. So there was a couple other like really good scenes. I did like one it was Teddy, where he was like, dude, I'm going to the gym. So like when this guy shows up, like I'm gonna fuck him up.
He goes to the same gym Ryan Phillippe went to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. God bless him. No, I liked Teddy. Was probably the best male character. The other guy was nice, but his personality starts and ends with nice guy.
Yeah, Teddy, like I said, Teddy was fine. So much so that it seems really out of character for him to be doing the dumb shit that he was doing. Now, was he a douche? Yeah, he was a huge douche.
I don't think he was that much of a douche.
Oh, he was a douche.
You think so?
Yeah. He was just like the way he was talking and saying like certain things. You're like, all right, like I'm pretty sure he calls a girl bro at one point in time in this, and I was like, that's kind of a telltale sign of douchebaggery. And then we have Sarah, who first we get most of her backstory, why she's unloading boxes at a party she totally would have been invited to, which led me to believe that she saw the invitation and just ignored it, where she's like, yeah, you guys abandoned me. And I was like, bitch, we just invited you. And then we asked if we wanted to go see the fireworks. But we find out that her mother, her mother left, and her mother died, and then her dad killed himself, or
I don't know. Parents, something went wrong in the parent department.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. So the mother committed suicide. Like the dad went insane, and I think she went into rehab, or something like that. It was something like that, where she ends up going to rehab, and she's like, "You guys
see how all the crazy stuff, and it's in both movies. The original does this too. Always happens fucking in dialogue. They go, "Oh, this crazy stuff." Same with the original. Even the original, it's like, "Oh yeah, Ben Willis killed this guy." Because and it's like you don't see any of this.
No,
this is a pattern with both movies. So I have to shit on the original. We did shit on the original for this. As much as we love the original,
we
The new one
okay,
did
yeah,
too.
it's not without sin. We agree, but
Yeah.
there are things where I was like, they're explaining these, and then she would give these little hints there where she's like, and then you guys abandoned me. It was like, no, you moved away and went to rehab.
Maybe
They don't
she
just, like-
abandoned them before she went to rehab.
Yeah, but she was fucking drug addict. Like, it was like, sounds like she was in like a downward spiral. Like, that's kind of what that's some of the reasons. A big reason that a lot of people go to rehab is when their friends and family start turning their back on them. Either way, not enough to really merit what goes on. Now she starts working for Ray, I guess, who promised her dad that he would look after her, and now too, this is something. The town is completely changed. The town, it's the town is almost like the town in Jaws, where the shark was like, "Hey, we're not gonna bring up that shark stuff." Like, we got rich people living here now. That was like 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The entire dynamics of the town has changed,
Which is fine. It works in the movie's favor. I think it works.
Oh no, it especially works, and it also, when you have in juxtaposition like Ray, and you have Julie.
Yeah.
One acknowledges the past and then chooses to move on from it completely, even though they both say there's things that you never get over, and the other one just sits around and sulks in it, going like, I can't believe it, they forgot about these insane murders that happened 30 years ago. It was like, dude, that's how everybody would be. It was like, hey, let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it happened to you personally, but like, no one's gonna want to dwell on that.
The covering it up is the bullshit, which I get.
Yes,
but and I think that's a great approach to it, except it leads somewhere. The ultimate conclusion the movie draws is incredibly dumb. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please. How did you interpret? Because
they don't exactly leave room for interpretation by the end.
No, but I'm saying there's also multiple levels. So, okay, what do you think happened first?
What do you mean?
With okay, do you think it was like Ray, or was it Sarah who came up with this grand plan?
The stupid fucking. All right, so let's the killer reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So my whole thing was, I was so fixated on saying who the killer wasn't that I kind of just forgot. By the time she was revealed, I'm like, oh my god, they distracted me enough. No shit, it was her. I didn't even think of that. I wasn't like shocked by the reveal, but I was like, oh my god, why didn't I see that coming? So they did distract me. In hindsight, I should have been like, yeah, no shit, it was her. But
I knew as soon as they all went on the boat together. Because I was,
before that, but still, they distracted us both before that, right?
No, yeah, because they
did a good
but
job.
Also, there was also things where like you never. They got me enough, but like there was a bunch of things that kind of fell into place. It was like, oh, you never saw Sarah like one-on-one with the killer. All of these other people usually had like a one-on-one confrontation, even if another person was like in the building, or like someone would be killed and one of them would get away. It was my biggest problem was when she took the character turn and it was revealed, and then she just went like full on psycho, and I was like, there's no way that some of that shit ain't leaking out. Like, you can't hide that kind of crazy.
Sorry, I was thinking about it. Even the more I think about it, like sometimes you think about a good plot to some good movie, you go, "Holy shit, that makes sense." The more I think about
it makes it better.
The more I think about it, I'm like, this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Okay, so because this is the thing, one of the things these people are commending this movie for is that the twist is ballsy for what they did. Only if it worked. Well, it's ballsy. It is It's kind of similar to how I feel with The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, killing Joel in itself, I don't actually have an issue with.
No.
It's the way, if you do that, you better follow up with something fucking amazing. And they didn't. That's how I thought about this movie. Okay, you're going to go that direction. First of all, this was even worse because it didn't make any sense.
No, it
straight
just
up did not make any sense. Because, okay, so the girl's motivation made perfect sense. Well, made sense. Okay? I bought into that. But I was just thinking about that scene. So you have that scene where Freddy gives her an out, or Ray gives her an out by shooting her fake. But we don't even. Did he actually hit her? Or did she just pretend to get shot?
I don't know. It might have even been blanks in there because he shows up with his own gun.
But
also, even if they had it planned, I guess his boat isn't far away. Because like he
wait, hold on. Time out. That brings out even bigger. Why even do that?
Because it's really easy I guess tricks the audience. Well, because it's easier to fake your death, but they're not going to realize that like Ray's boat is right behind them. They're going to see her fall in the water and think that's the end of it. But
why keep the last girl alive?
Well, he even says that Ray's like, hey, we were even debating on whether we should kill you. Like, you're actually a nice person. And I was like, Danica wasn't a bad person either. Like, she was just dumb.
She was just a dumb, ditzy fake blonde. But I liked Dan. That's the thing. I liked the two main girls, actually.
Yeah.
I did. Do I think they were like as good as Sarah Michelle Gellar and Julie James? No, but Danica, I liked her. I actually liked her more, if anything, because she's a ditzy, whatever. But there's something. It's kind of like how Barry's a likable asshole. She's a likable dumb bitch,
Yeah, usually people who are that heavy into the shit that she's into are insufferable. She seemed like, I could hang out with Danica.
Like I would hang out with her in small doses.
Absolutely,
I wouldn't date her. No question about it. I would never date her, but I could like be in a group with her for small periods. I could be like, she's fun, But like,
over there.
In small doses, but
so I'm saying, I was like, I'm not even sure what the plan is because they have this elaborate thing on the boat. So so the guy who crashes the truck, she was with Sarah, like they were dating, they were gonna go watch the fireworks. That was the
Stevie.
Okay,
character.
Steve. And then the town covered it up and basically said he was a drug addict and everything. I get wanting to avenge him.
Wait, so then why not go after more cops?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you would be better. They didn't know who they had to go to great lengths to find out who was even driving that car. She witnessed them trying to save them. It's more the disparaging shit that they said afterwards. You should be going after Teddy's dad, and you
want to go against Teddy even. Fine.
Okay, yeah, and the sheriff who's like keeping them overnight and trying to act like none of this is happening again. Fine, and I guess Ray would fall into place. So it was like these girls didn't even remotely deserve what they got, and then she's like, "You guys abandoned me," and it was like, "Well, you were a fucking drug addict who was in rehab." I'm like, "I'm sorry." Sorry that I stopped calling.
You abandoned.
Oh, by the way, you completely proved us right.
Wait, you stopped calling. No, but it's another. Yeah, she's a drug. But here's the thing. Let's say they were 100% wrong and she needed them and she wasn't a drug addict yet. The movie doesn't give us that information.
No.
We don't know the context of the situation. We only know what you tell us. She abandoned us. They think she was crazy first. We don't know the truth. Because the movie
go like this, just like we saw Clark was being an asshole in the new Superman movie where he's got 22 missed calls from his mom, and you're like, "Hey, Clark, don't leave your mom."
I must have missed that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really pissed me off in the movie. It was like, dude, Clark Kent is not leaving the Kents on scene. Okay. I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. But if they would have showed them doing that to Sarah, well, that's effective, because now we do get the idea that she was abandoned, and they're just being saccharine to her because she happens to be there, and they don't want to be rude, but they don't really give a shit about her. They seem to genuinely care about her and be glad that her life was getting back together. And by the way, Sarah says something at the scene that is even more bonkers. The only girl who says who kind of goes with now, she does say we have to go to the police, but she also says, like, no, we need to figure this out. He was like, I don't come from like rich families like you guys. Like, I have a lot to lose.
Wait a minute, she was one of the main people. Holy shit, I forgot about that. So she was like the new Freddie Prinze Jr. character.
Yeah.
So wait.
She's like, I don't have lawyers.
She's the main, because here's the thing. Teddy could have told the cops straight up, and he probably would have gotten off because his family fucking runs the town. So they covered for him anyway. So hold the fuck up. So it's their fault.
Yeah,
so
no, she's like, I'm the only one who's gonna get busted for this, and they were kind of like, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I guess, yeah, you might have a little bit more to lose in the equation. And it was like, you'd also be with the four of us who are in that situation, where it was like, they're not going to be like, let's just get the poor girl then.
Well, we don't know what fucking the main girl's situation was, because again, we don't know dick about her main characters.
I know we can assume just from them all growing up and her putting on these pretty expensive looking dresses in the beginning, just to impress, the guy. Yeah, the guy that she broke up with in high school. That this is a rich area, and Sarah started out rich. It's just her whole life collapsed. But to say, hey, we need to do this because like I have much more to lose than you do, and then basically, not helping this guy get out. And also, you didn't realize that like your boyfriend was driving this truck. You didn't want to go, hey, my boyfriend's in there, we have to save him, or anything like, sweetie, open the door. No, don't punch through the window, open the door. None of it makes sense. So yeah, but
he was in someone else's car.
Oh, that's right.
You
okay,
fake fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025.
But that's fine. Either way, she's still the one going like, hey, if this goes down on anyone, it's all going to go down on me.
Yeah, she's guilty. She's guilty as the rest of them. That's one of the problem with the killer being in that group is because the original, it was like, obviously it wasn't one of the four. It could have been Ray, but Ray didn't really have a motivation.
Well, no, Ray could have had a perfectly good motivation. Sarah goes back, and
in this movie, I guess it makes more sense than it would have in the original.
No. I'm talking about in this movie. So Sarah goes back to Ray, and basically says like, "Oh my God, this happened. I'm so worried."
Oh, we're getting into that right now. Are you ready? Spoiler. All right. So who are the killers? So it's one of the fifth wheel of this group. We're getting into
Sarah
it right
Pigeon.
now. You came at the perfect time. Well, the Sarah Pigeon's the name of the actor. It's Stevie. So the fifth girl. So there's
Stevie Ward.
It's in the original, it was the two couples. It was like Freddie Prinze and it was Julie and Ray who survived, and then it was Barry and Helen. Right. In this one, there's two couples again. There's the main character and the blonde, and then there's their boyfriends. Right. And then there's a fifth girl who they invite along with them, who was like formerly their friend, but then had a lot of drug problems and everything. But now she's fine. That fifth girl, the fifth wheel, ends up being the killer. And I was like, that's fine. The movie's over. Hooray. Ray came in and saved them.
And then Ray.
And then the dumbest plot twist ever happened. So Ray shoots the girl seemingly off the boat. We lost.
Yeah, they're on a boat at the end. They're trying to get away.
Conflict, just like the original. And then they get back in the boat, and this is when the fucking so dumb. So then
Ray
comes to Jennifer Love. Well, she calls. She goes, "I'm with Ray. It was Stevie." And then Jennifer Love Hewitt goes, "Wait a minute," and she goes. She types on her fucking computer, and you see a picture of Ray and Stevie together. Now, for context, we've known that they were close the entire movie.
He works at her bar.
Revelation. Like if it was a revelation that wait a minute, they know each other the whole time, but it's not because she works at her bar. They have multiple scenes together talking about how much
Ray basically said, "Hey, your dad asked me to look out for you."
And there's multiple scenes, but they treat it like as soon as they zoomed in on that shot, my first thought was, no, they're not doing this.
That's what
I go, there's no fucking way the movie is. This is a joke. There's no way they're going to be this stupid. She's sitting in a bar with Ray, and then Ray, you see a cut on his arm as he's moving. And she cut the killer earlier in the movie. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that they're making Freddie Prinze Jr. the killer. There's no fucking way. And she goes to leave, and she gets the door, and he's like, it's like
the door won't open. The door's
and he's like, I can't let you leave for something. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. So I admire the balls to make one of the original surviving characters the new killer in concept. But this makes no fucking sense.
I was saying the concept is you could have done the concept way better though, because like something could have just snapped in Ray where they're like, oh, they're gonna cover this up. They're still not gonna acknowledge that these killings happened. So I'm gonna
people responsible for that. That could have been a good movie.
But exactly, and then him actually going like, well, it's going to be hard for them to pretend like this didn't happen when they start happening again. So he starts harassing the kids as a red herring, but really the ones that he's picking off are the people who are burying the story.
But they don't do that. He said he's just killing a bunch of teenagers.
No, yeah, he's just killing a bunch of teenagers. Also, the final girl puts up way too good of a fight against like Freddie Prinze Jr., like a full-grown man, which I mean that happens all the time. But
I didn't mind that. But here's what I did mind. So, okay, first of all, this is another thing. So this man was married to Jennifer Love Hewitt, and when they asked, "You guys are married?" He goes, "Unfortunately." I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
Yeah, I was like,
"You motherfucker!" You take
don't act like you didn't like it.
Yeah, you loved her. All right, she still looks good, contrary to what some idiots on the internet say. Although she needs to lose the nose stud, that needs to go. But otherwise, she looks great. And the movie, first of all, we like this again. The scenes they're in together are great, and then the last scene happens. There's a line in the trailer. She goes, "What are you waiting for?" Here it is. In context, it's
oh no, I forgot about this.
So this line, she goes, "The white guy is the villain." I'm shocked. The old white guy is the villain. It's even better. It's so okay.
I think Freddie Prinze is Hispanic, but yeah, your point remains valid.
I don't know. But so anyway, so he leaves the chick, and then he how does it play out again? It was so dumb. So Freddie Prinze Jr. and Julie James, like they were married and then they split up between movies. Because hey, here's the thing, right? So God forbid, you notice how like every time we have one of these legacy sequels, they always break up the couple. Han and Leia broke up. And I was like, they're gonna be broken up. And here's the thing: if we were just doing a sequel to the original and ignoring the second movie, that would make sense. But the second movie, as shitty as it is, the one thing it does is it redeems Ray's character because he goes through so much to save Julie in that movie. And then to have it be like they broke up and now he wants to kill her.
Yeah, but not only he wants to kill her, she's like way better off without him. And
she's a strong woman. She's the need no man, and he needs a therapist.
That's something that I hate about this. So they'll introduce these legacy characters back, but they need you to care about the new characters. So the tactic that they use always is like, let's character assassinate them and shit all over him. So it was like, no, Ray didn't do anything cool with his life. They divorced, and then he owns like a sports bar, and he never left the town, which kind of makes sense because like he was the poor kid. You know, but it was like, but it looks like he'd been living kind of hard. And then you got Jennifer Love Hewitt, who's like teaching a class at whatever university.
She's conquered her trauma.
Yeah.
Time out. Real quick, let me talk about this scene. This is again how another, you know, like what I can tell the politics of the writer from this, right? Is she needs to defend herself. Now, keep in mind, she's in North Carolina. She's in I believe, a red state, and she has been a victim of multiple trauma. What is her weapon of choice when someone shows up at her door? A fucking pair of scissors.
I said, you know what? I said that too. I didn't take notes, but like this, like I did on the first one.
Like,
I made a mental note. I was like, "There's no way this bitch isn't armed." Like, it was like, "There's no way."
She would have like, if I lived through that kind of like, even in Halloween, as unperfect as the new ones are, Laurie Strode is fucking strapped.
That's what I was just gonna bring up Laurie Strode. I was like, she would have like the fire basement all ready to go, and
yeah, you're telling me that this girl who's so paranoid, she has all these rings, dude. Like, I have a gun. I've never been like, if I was stalked like that, I would be fucking armed to the gills.
Yeah,
or at the very least, have a shotgun.
Yeah, at very least armed to some aspect.
But she doesn't even have a knife that's good. She has scissors. You fucking kidding me? And then like, she's a great final girl. Apparently not. She's a great lawyer, or no, not lawyer, teacher. But she doesn't know how to defend herself, and she's a strong woman. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, what?
Oh God! And of course they had to do he goes back to swing, and then you hear the slicing noise, and then
the
Freddie
most
Prinze
thing ever. And then I go, okay, we're gonna do the whole. Oh, who got hit? Oh, it was him. What a fucking surprise! Why did he turn his back on the girl he's trying to kill?
Also, her acting there is ridiculous, and people do a lot of amazing things where, like, if you get shot in the shoulder, that whole arm is, if you don't bleed out, like if it missed your artery, that whole arm is not going to function. Like you'll see a lot of people like in a movie, they'll take like one of the shoulder and they'll be these things work in certain ways. You have tendons that pull things in certain directions. When you screw that up, the whole system kind of like falls apart. It's not, you know what I mean? She has a knife in her back, which I mean, fine. Like she got away from him, and then she runs to Jennifer Love Hewitt, but and I was going to chalk this up to blood loss, but like she was going, and it was just like, okay, if you're that like far gone, you're not going to like pick back up and go like, oh, well, I have perfect aim with this harpoon gun now. Like, and also if you have like a knife in your back and like you're falling over, and you're also not going to be able to like quietly sneak, because I don't know if you've ever hurt your back. You become very aware that you use your back in most movements. So when you got a big old knife sticking out of there, you're not going to be like quiet. She's going to get up and go like, that hurt.
I could forgive all of that if what they did was good.
Yeah, no, it was.
However, au contraire, what they did was fucking stupid. So Jennifer, how did she get in there? By the way, Jennifer Love Hewitt, how did she get in there again? The bar? Because it was locked. I don't remember.
Did she climb through the window? Because what's her face like opens the window? I don't know either, but it was like one of those things too. Like it's a real red flag
out of the movie. Like,
yeah, but like laughing. Being checked out and watching something poorly written where you're like, okay, and then they're gonna do this, and then they do this, and then it's like beat for beat. You're just kind of like following the story. It was like, and Jennifer Love Hewitt's gonna come in, and then there's gonna be a struggle with her, and then like there's gonna be a final confrontation. And then I was like, oh, they're doing the thing. And then I was like, oh, he's going to get stabbed in the back with something. Like I was calling it like beat for beat.
Yeah, as soon as the sound came, I'm like, all right, so he got impaled by the harpoon.
Yeah.
Can we just be at the end, please?
Yeah, just
so I can get
they
out
always have to do the
the soy facing where it's like
well, or it's also didn't it's like this look of but I stabbed you.
it's so
Oh no.
It's
Oh, this
so
isn't
dumb.
good.
Oh my god.
That doesn't look like it's gonna heal right.
Dude, all right. So okay. So it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's
So the ending, yeah. So his motivation is complete nonsense.
yeah.
It makes no. It's like so you could tell that they were like he's gonna be the killer because apparently he was brought out to dinner before there was even a script written. She told him what the twist is gonna be, and he said, "I'm in." And then you could tell she was like, "You're gonna be the killer this time," because apparently Freddie Prinze Jr. doesn't come back to movies unless he's really interested, right? So
Yeah.
apparently, so he was probably like, "You're gonna be the killer next time," and he was like, "Fuck yeah!" And they were like, "Oh fuck, how do we make that even make sense?" And they couldn't come up with. I think they came up with
both you and I came up with various ways that they could have made sense. It's just they were too dumb to do it.
So he'd be like, "So I know what you did last summer." So the fisherman, yeah, exactly. That would have made more sense if he was hunting other people, and they like outsourced the Jennifer Love Hewitt and him. We're like, this guy's been hunting down members of our town council, and we.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we need to bring in the young folk. Okay, so.
Well, you kill a couple of the young folk too as a red herring.
But do you buy that he would do that though?
Yeah, I feel like once you have a grand plan that like starts.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. Spoiler alert. Yeah, they made him the killer, and it makes no sense.
But what I'm saying is like once you've devised like a plan where you've made up your mind that you're gonna kill like 8 people, like what's 2 more? Like
I guess. Yeah, but it needs to be relevant, I think.
Yeah, no, they were mean to Sarah, okay, and Sarah's like his surrogate daughter.
Well, then,
not Sarah Pitch. I'm sorry, Stevie. They were mean to Stevie.
Adjust the scene so that way they directly kill Stevie's lover.
Okay. See, now we're conflating 2 different things. You're saying like how I could make it make sense for Ray to do it, and then you're going like, oh, but he wouldn't do this. And it was like,
true.
Yeah, if we change his motivations, then it 100% fits.
Yeah,
if it was written competently the first time, it would have been fine. Like I said, or as dumb as it is, stick with Stevie.
Stevie works. She doesn't work great.
No,
works, but she doesn't need to work great. She needs to work. Like Ben Willis in the original was not a great character at all.
No, and no.
Stevie was a better
who the fuck is Ben Willis?
Yeah, Stevie, if anything, I will give props. Stevie on her own was a better killer than Ben Willis was in the original. Because Ben Willis, nobody gives a fuck about. He's never going to be in the top, even like the top 10 slasher villains. Even though I love this movie, there are movies that I think are objectively worse as slasher movies that have better killers than Ben Willis.
Yeah.
Ben Willis sucks. So, like, Stevie on her own, first of all, real feminist, you'd rob the spotlight from a woman to give it to a man.
Yeah.
But this is so fucking stupid. I was lurking for you guys to spoil the killer. This is fucking ridiculous. Dude, that's how I felt. But his really motivation. But so what really is his motivation? Because it seems like it's all over the place. That's how I felt watching the goddamn movie.
We've covered this.
Yeah, well, you rewind when you get it.
It is all over the place. So Stevie technically has 3 motivations to do it. 2 of them you can debunk right away from shit that she says that just openly contradicts her actions. The one is just pure happenstance because like she didn't know that till well after the fact that what's his face was driving. And
she took responsibility at the time.
Yeah, dude, she was like, guys, we really need to go to the cops, but I just want to let you know, like, this is gonna turn back on me because I'm not rich like you guys. I can't afford this. So they're kind of going like, well, maybe we shouldn't just say anything because we don't want
They
anything
were
bad to
being
happen to
good
Stevie.
friends to
Yeah.
her.
And then later,
It's just like,
and then
fuck you.
that was my thing in the bar because Ray was like, originally we were talking about not even killing you. You're the only one who wanted to do the right thing. And I was like, fuck, Stevie didn't even want to do the right thing until she. I feel like I've been drinking. I haven't been drinking, but like I might as well have been drinking watching this because like I should have been drinking. It probably would have been more coherent to me. Like that makes sense.
And then the worst part is they make Freddie Prinze Jr. the killer, and he doesn't even put up a fight. Once the reveal happens, he goes, "It was me all along, Harpoon."
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. And it wasn't even Jennifer Love Hewitt that did it. It was the new girl. And she does it off screen. She fires it.
Oh, and like I said, Brandy's in this for 2 seconds. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, she needs to run. Brandon needs to run away from this. Don't let Carla.
Yeah, don't get roped in the sequel, baby. Don't do it.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, they didn't drag. Well, they dragged her marriage down for this character.
Sammy, I have been drinking, and it doesn't make any of this any good. Okay, very. I think I might have just gotten depressed too.
It's so bad.
Another thing too is the first movie has problems, but there's like an aesthetic to it. There's a format they followed. It's fun. This stopped being fun very early on.
You think so? Because I was having fun for most of it.
No, there were parts where I was having fun, but it was like when the killer was around, it was fun because all that shit was shot great. It was watching these dum-dums climb, pal around, and like I said, not even try to solve the crime for themselves. It wasn't until the really end of the movie they were like, "Well, the police need to do something about this," and the police are like, "Well, we'll find the last girl who had to deal with this, and we'll make her tell us how to solve this."
And she's like, kind of like, yeah.
Oh God, that scene where Jennifer Love Hewitt sees Ava's leg shaking and she puts her hand out and was like, "Oh, now you're gonna help her because she's got restless leg syndrome." Great.
Yeah, I have that. I don't have I just have ADD.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not traumatized. I just have ADD.
Yeah. So another thing too. Okay, this line, because someone pointed out to me, I've been watching a few reviews of it, and someone pointed this out to me. The line where she goes up to Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's like, "Someone with a fishing hook is stalking my friend." She goes, "I just have one question. What did you do last summer?" And it's like, but that doesn't make. How would you know it was the summer or that it was last summer? Like, it could just fishing killer could kill for a number of like the fact that it happens to be 1-to-1 is pure coincidence. Like, how the fuck did you like?
Yeah, that's pure happenstance.
It just doesn't make any sense for you to say that. You just wanted to say the title of the movie.
Yeah, no, it would have been a better question. And was like, I just got one question for you. It was like, did you kill anybody? Or something like, or what are you hiding? What do you have to hide?
Yeah,
instead of it's like so convoluted. She's like, well, like my best friend got married and we watched a guy drive over a cliff because like we didn't do anything wrong.
It doesn't work. It does not work. Another thing that doesn't work, so when she has the line, "What are you waiting for?"
Oh God.
Because I love that line in the original. I know people
because
on it
because it's like the Earth's like like what are you waiting for? Just fucking do like
because it's just tormented. Like, that is her best acting. It's her at her best. In the new one, it's like, well, what if we had? Well, first of all, I was checked out of the movie by that point. I'll be fair in saying that. As soon as they revealed Freddie Prinze Jr. as the killer, I was checked out of the movie because I was like, this is stupid, because they didn't give me enough reason. And then I was like, all right, sell me on this. We'll give you. But I was laughing in the theater by that point, and I was like, I had already reclined my chair, and I'm like, all right, let's get this over with. Like, at this point, I'm like that's literally, I leaned forward in my seat, and I'm like, here we go. Here we fucking go. I was laughing.
Oh, you didn't see you didn't see the post-credit scene?
No, I did. With
Freddie Prinze.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, at the end it said Freddie Prinze Jr. will return for the Avengers.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Okay, wait. So Charles says, so Freddy like a revenge killer in this, or does he have a personal stake in this? I'm listening to you guys, but I can't make sense.
So he is one of the fifth wheel in the group. They accidentally don't even really hit some. So they accidentally cause someone to drive off the road, but it's not their fault because they were going too fast. But also they shouldn't have been in the middle of the road. So it's kind of their fault. I know what you kind of did last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you were involved in.
I'm aware of what you witnessed last summer.
So this fifth girl finds out after the fact that it was her boyfriend in someone else's car that was coming to pick her up because he was nervous. And so she tells Freddie Prinze Jr., who she works for and who's like basically looking after her since her parents are gone out of the picture. And Freddie Prinze Jr. is like, being the rational man that he is, he's like, what you should do? You should fucking kill people. Yeah. I'll help you do it. Which, as I'm explaining it out loud, is it's the
dumbest. He's like, oh, that must have really hurt your feelings. What if we kill all of them? When I was your age, a man put on a fishing slicker and grabbed an ice hook. And he killed all my friends.
So I think that instead of running away, you should just
I promised your father I would take care of you, and you got to meet these problems head on, dear. We'll both get matching slickers. We'll get this convoluted plan. We'll get the last two girls on a boat. Then you can reveal yourself as the killer. I'll pretend to shoot you. You swim back to the boat, and then I'll take the last girl to my bar. Yeah, you gotta kill one of the friends on there. I'm not telling you which one you gotta kill. Also, hot or cold on Ava. Should we still kill her? Okay, you still want to kill her? Okay, we'll take her back to my bar. I'll have the emergency door be locked and go, you really didn't expect me to let you live, did you? And then I'll kill her, and then we'll clean up the bar, and then
even though it would have made more sense, because there's a point right before this where Freddie Prinze. Wait on, time out. Freddie Prinze and her are on the boat together. Freddie Prinze and Stevie are on the boat together with the two girls. They could have easily overpowered the two girls, but Freddie Prinze fakes shooting her. Why? Why not just kill the girls and dump them in the ocean?
I don't understand that part, because also Freddie Prinze Jr. pulls up on this boat in another yacht. Like, it's a yacht behind a yacht. Like, they didn't realize that this yacht pulled up. So
they stealthily pulled up.
Yeah, so I'm saying, even if you murdered these girls and dumped them, they'd be like, oh yeah, well, we saw Ray's yacht out there too because it's fucking enormous. Unless he's in someone else's yacht. I'm just saying, that's a bad plan. Which, normally taking someone out on a boat.
You know what I think they were doing? They were trying to get in the original. If you remember, Ray gets in the shitty little boat and he's so I think they were trying to call back to that, but instead he's the killer. But it doesn't make fucking sense. It makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense at all.
Here's the thing. The killer's motivation in the original made sense. It was still super disconnected and a little convoluted in the original. Absolutely. But it made sense. The killer's motivation makes sense.
Yeah. It was like, dude, you guys left me for dead. And
I had just killed this guy. So it made sense for the guy to do it because Ben Willis was a killer. They didn't know at the time, which is why they had this guilt, which is why you're along with them when they feel guilty. And then after the fact, you go, oh, he was a piece of shit anyway.
Yeah. No one's barely wrong in the first place.
And then on top of that, the killer's motivation doesn't make sense.
Okay, was he a drug addict who stole a car? Because that's what they were saying. He was a drug addict. He was just bothering. He borrowed a friend's car.
He borrowed a pastor's car.
Because I do remember there was that. Wait,
why did they kill the pastor again?
I have no idea. Oh well, because the cops came in and accused the pastor. Remember, and then he's kneeling down and his eyes are carved out, and I was like, wait, why Where did he fall in this?
Right, because they killed him, but I forget why he was a loose end. But why was he a loose end?
I can't remember why he was a loose end, but it was also so much of a loose end that the cops came to arrest him and found him mutilated. So like I couldn't figure that one out, and I'll wait until like the Wikipedia page does the plot synopsis because I'm not
And then I'll
watching.
be like, yeah, I'm not watching it. Exactly, I'm watching plot synopsis.
I can't. But
It makes no
yeah,
sense.
no, Charles, we're trying our best here. This is really how convoluted this is. Like this is.
This is like making Steve from Scream 1 one of the killers. Wait, which one was Steve in Scream 1?
It's
Steve. Oh, I thought it was Randy. Steve. Who was Steve? There was Dewey. Who the fuck was Steve?
Okay, it's like Kevin Bacon, like being one of the killers in the original Friday the 13th, when you have Jason and Mrs. Voorhees like there, and it was like, nah, I'm gonna kill these kids instead.
Yeah, no, it just does not make any fucking sense. It's just a dumb piece of shit movie, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Who the fuck is Steve? I'm looking at this. Oh, it's Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Oh, dude, he was talking about
Steve.
Dewey.
I thought it was. No. Steve is.
Yeah, but he meant Dewey from Scream.
Oh, okay. But is it Steve? I thought it was Randy. Was Steve was the guy's name? No, Steve is a character from Scream.
Okay, but he meant Dewey.
Okay.
Which makes more sense. Like, why? Yeah, it is because you're rooting. And this isn't the first
Steve
time. This isn't the first time in a horror movie where you're. I mean, the Mrs. Voorhees turn is a great example where you're like, oh, this older person is here. They're gonna help. And then, all of a sudden, Miss Voorhees starts talking crazy. He's like, "You let him drown,"
Oh my god, I forgot. All right, so we got to get talking about the feminisms now.
Yes,
So
it's pretty fucking awful.
So there's a scene where she's holding the knife, and this is where the acting takes a nosedive. But to be fair, the writing took a nosedive with it. I don't think even an Oscar-winning actor could have read this line and made it work. I don't even remember exactly. She goes, "What? So a man can kill people, but as soon as a woman does it, you're judging," or something like to that effect.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but it was so brain dead. But Stevie, as soon as she,
like very enlightened ladies, like like it was when they were on the boat, and Stevie.
By the way, let the record show she's calling out her friends who are all women. There's no men in this scene at all. For being like sexist to women or something.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you thought it was this guy? You didn't think it could be a woman? It was like, no, we didn't think it was you because you're our friend, dickhead. Like,
I don't remember exactly how it goes, but that was one of the lines.
No, she's like not very enlightened. I was just like, oh my god, great.
By the way, this movie takes place in the South, for the record. It takes place in North Carolina. Okay, so now, oh my god, the end scene. So we talk about how Ray has an unhealthy approach to trauma. Jennifer Love Hewitt has a better approach. But this movie's ultimate conclusion is a talking point I've heard on TikTok many times. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the writer-director frequents TikTok as an app because
absolutely.
Towards the end of this movie, the one girl who gets stabbed and thrown off a boat survives. But I'm like, you know what? This happens typically in a slasher movie. If there's a character that would clearly die, but they're likable enough, they'll like be fine. So this character washes ashore, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I like the ditzy blonde in this movie. I liked her. So I'm like, fine. She's alive. She's alive. Great. I mean, I don't care about anyone at this point because of what they did to my boy, Freddie Prinze Jr. So anyway, they didn't even make him good as a killer. Like, if you had made him work as a killer, that would be fine. I'm not like,
No, he's completely inefficient.
And his motivation makes no sense. But anyway, they get out
Yeah.
of the hospital and they don't really mourn their friends much, but they start talking, oh, bestie, you're the best. I'm so hungry. Let's eat. We get our munchies. Haha, girl talk, whatever. Fine. And then she goes, this whole thing could have been avoided if men just went to therapy.
Oh, I was like, no.
That is a real,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
joking. That is a real line.
Yep.
So the whole complex narrative about guilt and dealing with trauma, it's really just about toxic masculinity. They don't say it. They don't have to.
Even though a woman was one of the fucking killers.
By the way, there were 3 of the 5 main characters. There were 3 of them survive. It was the 3 women. 2 of them die. It was the 2 men, because the first killer is still alive. And they kind of go, oh yeah, Steve is still alive. Oh, what? No way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's apparently men's fault because they don't go to therapy. But here's the thing, what they're trying to say with the one being the killer is that because Ray told her to be a killer, which again, why would he do that? Because Ray has an unhealthy coping mechanism because he's a man and has a penis, and that makes him evil. And here's the thing, because I was talking to a girl about this. She goes, yeah, but I think it was just a joke. I said, I would agree with you. Like, I'm fine. If you want to make sexist jokes towards men, that's fine. As long, like, we can make sexist jokes towards each other. That's perfectly fine. There's stuff you could rip on men for. The problem is This movie genuinely believes this. And you could tell the writer genuinely believes it because the whole plot and all the themes that are poorly communicated are trying to say that men don't go to therapy enough, and this is why things are the way they are in this patriarchal. They don't have to explicitly state it, but it's very apparent, because why would you end the movie on that note and not constantly reinforce that the woman can deal with it better and the man doesn't? You know, it's just pretty obvious that the movie is genuinely trying to say it, because they ended on that note.
Yeah, and they had to do so many mental gymnastics to get there. Like, if honestly, if I was watching that movie with someone and like that was their takeaway, like, you know, like, oh, this could have been resolved if men just went to therapy, I'd be like, are you retarded?
Like, so for the characters to say it, I'm like,
are you hiding a chromosome on me?
It's so bad. It's so bad, dude. Oh my god. How?
Yeah. And like I said, even still, you can say you can like it or not. That one part where like Freddie Prinze Jr. is like using both hands and like trying to bring the knife down, and then she's just kind of like,
yeah, I'm like, she'd be fucking dead.
It was like, there's no way, dude. He's got like 100 pounds on you.
No, but she has girl power, Sammy. That's really all that matters.
And then, you know, and she kicks him in the balls. That's fine. You know, like that's they teach that in women's self-defense classes. But you know what they don't teach you? It was like, I was waiting for her to do that like Marine move where like she like twists his wrists and like turns the knife like back towards him. And, you know, it was like, that's how like out of place that shit was. It was just like, dude, there's no way this bitch is countering this. Like, it was like, also, you could have had it. Just, you know, just like have her practicing in a gi in one. Shows that she knows a little bit of self-defense. She could have did that easily, but it was like, no. Yeah, no, it was bad. Another thing too is I don't think they made the townspeople who are trying to cover this shit up like evil enough.
They weren't in the movie enough.
Yeah, but it was just like there could have been so many better ways to go about doing that. Like I said, it would have.
Why not target them? Why are the kids being targeted?
That's what I'm saying. Well, I guess he's punishing them, right? Like, you know, it was like you wouldn't. But actually, no. I was gonna say he's punishing Grant Spencer by like killing Barry. Well, it was like, well, it doesn't really mean much if you kill him right after. I was like, so if you just killed his son, and then, you know, like then the dad has to live with like, oh my god, I was trying to cover this up, and in doing so, I inadvertently caused the death of my own son. That's a heavy thing to live with. But when you like slit his throat like right after, it was like, well, he didn't fucking learn anything. Like you just now you let's see.
You were expecting the movie that Ellie did, the move. I didn't watch the show yet. I liked the game, the first game. I did not like the second game.
No, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it. It looked like they were going to shoehorn it in, but they did a good job of not making the two last girls like girl bosses. Where like they were like help us 20-something-year-old girls. Where like you want to open the car door for them.
I liked the two main characters, but they just like that end scene. Like, here's the thing, that because this is the problem I had with them saying.
Yeah, no, Andy, I was implying it's from how it was shot. It looked like they might try to do that, but it was just like, oh, that ain't gonna happen.
But here's the thing, I will say, they did a good job at so they conveyed one of the things that they conveyed well. I think personally, they did those two characters well, but the problem is when that scene comes out and they say that dumb shit, because girls say dumb shit or like
they do.
Young people say dumb shit all the time in general, right? I don't have a problem with that. Problem is, you could tell that was the director wanted that thought to be in mind, because you could tell that that's the director/writer's genuine thoughts. You can fucking tell.
And you can say like, hey, obviously there were situations like that. It was like, it wasn't peppered in there, like, overtly. Like I said, if they were really trying to do that, yeah, she would have totally did like some weird kung fu shit and spun the knife around back at him. The Jennifer Love Hewitt thing wouldn't even had to happen because like she saved herself, guys. But no, you can hear it. It's peppered in the conversations where it's like, no. Like this is everybody who was killing people, guy or girl, had some mental issues here. It was like, and you know what? Stevie went to fucking therapy, you idiots, and she still ended up killing 3 people. So it was like, so you could say Ray didn't do anything. Stevie's the one who went to rehab, whose life fell apart and everything. She went to therapy, and she still ended up killing people. So it's like, they always contradict themselves because the message, when you throw it out in like real world situations, like it doesn't work. It was like, please write that movie where you have all those girls like, I would much rather encounter a bear in the woods than a man. And it was like, really? Okay, I've seen that movie.
Overall, they dropped the ball, man, and there was a lot of good things in this movie's favor. There's good things in the movie, and I think that's what's frustrating.
Yeah, that makes it more frustrating because
if it was just universally bad from start to finish, great. I could have forgiven all my little issues with the inciting incident isn't that great because I like the characters enough. They didn't have to be as good as the original. It's fine.
Honestly, it would have all been fine if you would have stuck the landing. If you would have stuck the landing and ended out strong, I would have given. We gave this movie about a 3.5. I would have moved it to a 5 or a 6.
I would have even just cut the Freddy. Even if I would have just been like, let's just salvage. Or Freddy. I know we wrote it to be the killer. It doesn't make sense, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You just Stevie was the killer. You shoot her in the fucking face. Julie James. Here's the thing, because I'm like, okay, well, we got to bring her back from the finale. She doesn't do anything in the finale.
No,
she says her line for the trailer, and someone else does the work. This movie does not work. It doesn't work.
She poses as a distraction long enough for her to get a weapon and shoot him in the back, but I was like, there's so many other things you could have did, and it was like a good way to if you were worried Freddie Prinze Jr. was going to be upset, all the director had to be like, hey Freddie, why do you think you're on the boat right now? Like, what are your motivations? Because like he doesn't have any. It's insane. He was like, hey, this girl who works at my bar was kind of being a bit of a hypocrite, and I'm gonna help her kill these kids. Like, that's what it boils down to. But she's the most hypocritical out of all the kids. She's the one worried that she has something to lose.
Which makes sense because she is a she has mental issues. What is Ray's motive? Well, but then they dodge that because she in herself is unstable enough where when she was revealed as the killer, I was like, aha, makes sense.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, that tracks. I was gonna say her
Freddie Prinze Jr. does it. I'm like,
no, it doesn't at all.
It doesn't make sense.
So that, you know, and you could have added stuff. It was, you know, like, yeah, this is why we don't talk to you because you're fucking crazy. You know, it was they could have. There could have been so many other ways to land that properly, and have Stevie be a good, you know, like an acceptable killer, because like it does make the most sense for her to do this, even though a lot of the shit that she says is hypocritical. If she's out of her fucking mind, it doesn't matter. You know, it was like crazy's crazy. Everyone was, you know, was like, well, why would Michael Myers want to kill his sister?
Because he's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
That makes sense. But Ray, we've spent 2 movies with this, and I did like the fact that they acknowledged the second one was canon. But then that ultimately serves to shoot them in the foot because, again, in the second one, because in the first one, if you had just done the first one and this one and ignored the events of the second entirely, I'd be like, I could kind of see it, but it still wouldn't work because this movie in itself, his motivation within the context of this movie, even distracted from the first 2, does not make sense.
Okay, I got a better one because I do like what you said about the second movie where it does redeem the character of Ray. Why don't you show Jennifer Love Hewitt being like an ungrateful bitch about this? There's the whole thing with the cover up, right? And like it's really bugging him. And he stages these copycat killings just to get back at Jennifer Love Hewitt because of all the shit that he went through in the second movie, and then her being an ungrateful bitch and then going like, just move on. And he was like, no, they're like trying to bury what happened to our friends. Like that isn't right. And it was like, so like he kills a couple of the kids, but he's really, his true motivations are to take out the people who are burying the story, all the while making it look like Jennifer Love Hewitt is actually the person who's fucking doing this. Much better motivation.
Makes no sense.
I'm saying there's so many routes that you could have taken to make Ray make sense that they just didn't do. You and I have named 5 or 6.
How did the brilliant writers?
Yeah,
we're just 2 guys that like I'm a writer, but like
I'm just spitballing. I'm just throwing shit against the wall, seeing what sticks. Like, you know,
this all sticks better.
But I'm saying hindsight's 2020. You know, like they're like, oh well, that's easy for you to say after the movie's made. I was like, I just gave you an entirely different premise than the movie, and it's fucking better. Okay,
like you guys get your professionals. We'll come up with the premise. Don't even pay us. Just make the just don't shit on the original movie, please.
I'll be fine.
We'll spot you for this one.
Yeah,
come on.
This one's on the house.
For real, dude. Like. Do you think they do that? Do you think Hollywood studios, they like pitch a bad idea out there? It's like, shit. Okay. Oh, that guy in the comments came up with a better idea. All right, fucking. What's wrong? You guys could do that, honestly. Free labor. All right. This one's in the house.
Okay.
You want to remake it.
They do this in video game all the time, like with Sweet Baby Inc. and all those things. Like, me and Vaughn, we're going to start a consulting firm where they're like, okay, yeah. It was like, I'm going to sit down with the writer for this. It was like, okay, you want to bring Ray back. How you did it is retarded. Here's a better way to do that. And, you know, and if you don't want to use my idea, you don't have to pay me for my time. But I'm telling you what you just said. I read the script. What I read in the script was really dumb.
Come on. Even if you don't take my idea, there is a better idea than the one you wrote down.
Yeah, it was like here's another one. I wrote it on a sticky note because that's how easy it would have been to make this fucking movie good. When you had 4 returning cast members and then just like it's a slasher film. Slasher films really aren't that hard to write. Like
I've written one and it was fine.
There's a
It could have been
format.
better, but it was good enough.
Punish me. And it was like, oh, you are.
Yeah, you punished me for fucking.
Yeah. Oh, I do feel like I'm being punished.
Oh.
That was so out of place too. And like I'm sure that's another like weird like feminist fantasy where it was like, no, I'm empowered, but punish me. Why? Because deep down, for these people who can't take accountability for themselves, they'd be like, wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't that just be like erotic if I actually got accountability? Wouldn't that like be fucking crazy? Like deep down they really want it. And was like, well, wouldn't it be crazy if there were like consequences for my actions? Punish me. And everyone was like, really? That's fucking insane.
That's crazy, dude. All right. Dude,
I think we got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point we're just like we're beating a dead horse, which I'm having fun doing, for the record.
Yeah, me too. But I was gonna say we've spent more effort on this movie than they did. So
if you want to talk about the second one, we could bring Sean back, the original second one.
That sounds fine.
Honestly, I'll take Jack Black as the killer.
Yeah. But, that would have been the best reveal of all time, where they're on the boat and then like he just rips off the slicker and he's like, Chicken Jackie.
So stupid.
Credits.
All right, so dude, yeah, now my recommended is all just people shitting on this movie, because I was like, and you know what, I was like, oh my god, my fear was like everyone is gonna think this is like a great subversive thing. Because I remember that when the fifth Scream came out, everyone was praising it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like that's the case with this one. It doesn't.
Well, okay. Well, it's also why that was dumb in Scream. It was like, you can't subvert my expectations on something that's whole premise was on subverting the audience's expectations.
Yeah.
So, now you're just going into insane territory.
So subscribe to Sammy's channel. Subscribe to mine if you're not already. Also, make sure to hit that link and sign up for Phenomenova issue 3. I just revealed a new cover. You can check on Twitter and all my socials, my email list, whatever. Zach's cover is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's very strong.
So I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I think I might just pass out, honestly. I think that took the last little bit of. I think baby.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm actually physically exhausted from.
That was an exhausting, because I think I just kind of like I sat in not liking it and didn't really think about it a ton, and it all because I knew it was all gonna just come out when we talk about it on the live stream, and it did.
They're actually on the stream I was on before this. They were, we were talking about this, and I was like, you said you watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, like, what'd you think? And I was like, I thought Ozzy Osbourne was going to be the worst thing that happened to me today, but
that was a rough one. I'm gonna listen to Crazy Train, even though it's not really going to bed song. I'm gonna listen to it anyway.
Well, you know what, he's one of those celebrities, so I hate when these celebrities die and like all of a sudden.
Hot take from Sammy. I hate when
I hate when no, I don't like when these celebrities like die and then like there's these weird like orbiters who like, okay, so you have like Crazy Train on your iPhone or like or whatever. It was like he was a genius, and it was there's all like this false like where it was like, oh, where you got people who like, yeah, I know who this person is, I'm gonna pretend that I'm upset about
fan.
Yeah,
I was at a stream once after
like,
Peter
there's
David died.
nobody who disliked Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody loved Ozzy. So yeah, it's a real tragedy.
No, I remember I was on a stream once where a certain comic book writer died, and the people hosting the stream were like, I've never read any of his, and they were like eulogizing him incorrectly, and I was like, dude, just
yeah.
So you don't have to say anything, man. It's okay. You could just say he was a great writer. I wish I had read more of his stuff. It's okay. You don't have to pretend.
Yeah,
you're hurting. Like if I die, and you've never read any of my stuff, you don't have to pretend like you were like a huge fan. You could say, I heard good things. You know,
Oh, dude,
it's okay.
I'm gonna write the fakest eulogy about you, and was
Yeah,
like,
even
what,
though
you
you've
know,
read my stuff and know me, you could be like, I Vaughn, and just make up accomplishments.
yeah,
Like
yeah, I was like, but his true love was waking up early on Sunday mornings and
Not
feeding
true.
pigeons in the park.
They
They were like, I don't remember Vaughn doing that. I was like, well, I was closer to Vaughn than you were, so why don't you shut up?
All right, on that note, guys, we'll end it on that note. Have a great rest of your night, and yeah, it's gonna be a hard out. I will play Eggman pissing on the moon. See you guys.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife and he said his dick was this big. And I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small dick. It's the size of this walnut except way smaller. And guess what? Here's what my dong looks like. That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like 2 balls in a bong. He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right, this is what you get. My super laser piss. Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama?